Hi everybody, welcome to my garden here on Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. I'm going to show you around the patio, give you a look at some of the ugly and some of the pretty. This, as always, is a very casual plant blog. I'm going to give you just an update on how all of my plants are doing, including some of the ones that have died over the winter. First, I'm going to show you the tropical patio plants, and then we'll go into some of those landscape tropical plants, followed by the cold hardy tropical looking plants that I have in the landscape. Before we talk about the patio, we need to talk about what is behind the patio, my huge rhododendron. I need to ask the previous owners of my home what the history is behind this rhododendron, because it's old. It's huge. It's sandwiched right between this gorgeous looking juniper, and we have the pines in the background and kind of over the rhododendron. So it gets the perfect amount of shade, nice acidic soil. It's on a hill, on a slope, so it doesn't sit in water. I'm actually going to take you into the rhododendron so you can see the slope that it's growing on. So you see that's the fence line, slope, 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 and then here I am, all the way here. This tree is gorgeous, but a couple of things that you want to keep in mind. Just had to double check. No fragrance on this rhododendron. It is also messy. I am wearing socks for some reason, but it's a really good example of how messy this plant gets. I didn't deliberately wear socks, but it shows you the mess as the buds are opening up, and it's even worse and really kind of stinky when all the petals start to fall off. So that's the downside, but the upside is that for 2 weeks every single May I get the most ridiculous, beautiful show from my rhododendron. So that's enough on the rhododendron. Let me show you my tropicals on the patio. This is my Plumeria Jenny. It is from Jungle Jacks. It lived in my dorm room when I was in college. Then I moved to Florida and it lived down there. And now it's living up here. It has lots of flower inflorescences. This little broccoli structure is what we like to see. That's going to house hundreds of flowers in a few weeks, and those of you who are familiar with my Plumeria know by now that they are bare until about like late May, early June. So right around now they start to sprout. Behind it, or in front of it, I guess depends on your perspective, is the California Sunset that I have. A gorgeous Plumeria. This one has lots of flower buds, so you can kind of see what that broccoli-looking inflorescence is like when it expands. So this houses all of the flowers that I will get this season. And what's nice about California Sunset, as well as Jenny, is that these produce flowers before they produce their leaves. So you'll get beautiful leaves on it as it flowers, but the flowers will be nice and ready to, mature by 4th of July, and it smells really good. California Sunset's already thrown some flowers. Triangle palm, kind of cold tolerant, and I love the unusual trunk on it. We have a really nice variety of Cordyline over here. Unfortunately, palm trees can be the biggest gaslighters of all time. My Bismakia Palm looks fine, right? They're silver. This is how they're supposed to be. But now look at the inside. The new emerging sphere. It's crunchy. It makes me nervous. It's not pulling out, but this is the only place where new growth comes from. So if this is not healthy, then the palm tree might already be dead. This might be a dead palm. I really don't know, and I'm going to probably have to wait a little longer before I find out. But all of the leaves were nice and green. I'm going to show you my needle palm. I know I said that I was going to show you the tropicals first, but just to prove a point, we're going to go through the palm trees now, including the needle palm, which survived the winter outside. Most of it survived the winter outside. Unfortunately, Mama over here got spear pull, and not like one spear. We're talking like the whole entire thing collapsed. Let me see if there are any more that are going to pull out. Well, they're not. But anyway, the inside is totally hollow. There's really no way for the mama to produce any new growth. So the inside rotted, essentially. Now, the good news about needle palms is that they do produce lots and lots of pups, and they're pretty cold tolerant. plants overall and forgiving and whatever. So I still have some of my needle palm clump left, but a lot of these got spear pull. This one had spear pull. This one had spear pull. The low temperature this winter was 10 degrees. Needle palms can handle a lot colder than that. So not 100% sure what went wrong, but something went wrong. And needle palms are big fat gaslighters because this thing looked green, and even if you look at some of the stems that had severe spear pull, you can still see green on the petioles, which is the little structure that kind of connects the palm frond to the palm trunk. So that's my story on palm trees, as much as I love them. Let me show you one I do like. It's a difficult one to grow, but I've never really had any big problems with it. I just know from other people's experience that the old man palm can be a struggle. They like a lot of humidity and heat. Does well inside the house, so I've not had any major issues. Of course, in my last video, I talked about my flamethrower palm tree. Here it is, just every day looking better and better. Look at how that wind just whips the fronds around, but it's so pretty as it does so. I have a variegated alocasia. I talked about my Mendinilla. Oh my gosh, I got pooped on. I talked about the Magnifica variety, but this is my Rantha. And it has just absolutely gorgeous, kind of grape-like flowers. So, really cool leaves, but the flowers are why I grow it. My Hibiscus tilaceus, I don't grow this one for flowers. Even though it's a hibiscus, I grow it for the unusual leaves. The leaves are a little bit torn looking. They're not as vibrant as they would be when they grow outside in heat. They really get very nice and vibrant, and it's still early in the season. But look at these beautiful reds that come from this leaf. Absolutely gorgeous, and the white splashes, it will look very, very impressive by, maybe like June, July, and it does add some nice color and texture to this part of the garden. So you can see where I play with texture. We have a nice little bushy hibiscus here. We have, of course, the color from this flamethrower palm and the texture of the palm leaves, so it kind of breaks apart that bushy look. We have some spikes from the New Zealand flax lily, which handled the winter beautifully in the garage. And then, of course, we have some spikes from the Cordyline, not from the Cordyline. The Cordyline's over there, too, though, giving some color. But this is a false agave, and it has that beautiful white striped variegation, and just adds some nice texture. Ficus taniki's looking good. My fishtail palm is looking pretty nice overall. It's quite large. I usually have this in the front yard, but I wanted to give it some shade because I am not able to water it for a couple of days, so I just wanted it to be well shaded. My bird of paradise are hanging out. I'm hoping to get some blooms. These are what the spent blooms look like. If you watched over the winter time, it blooms really nicely inside the house, and I would just love for it to bloom outside during the summertime, but really usually it just sort of stays nice and green. This is Cordyline Singapore Twist. Lots and lots of damage from mealybugs. Still looking at some mealybugs on this, but I'm hoping that with a little bit more neem oil and maybe some good old-fashioned predators, we'll be able to get this plant looking good again. It's a very, very unusual Cordyline because all of the leaves grow in one direction. No relation to the popular early 2010s band. I don't know anything about pop culture. Anyway, the leaves, they grow like that, and it looks really pretty. This is Musa Siam Ruby. I think this is a very unusual banana. I usually really struggle with this time of the year because when it comes in from spending the winter inside the house, the outside wind knocks all of the tender branches, because look at how thin these stems are. But luckily I really acclimated it well this year, and it's been holding its ground. I'm keeping it close to the house so the wind isn't as big of an issue. I brought this beautiful hibiscus, it's not so beautiful right now, but it will be, inside the house during the winter, and we've got some nice little sprouts coming up. All of this is new growth, so it'll fill in pretty nicely. No flower buds yet, but I'm hoping by 4th of July I'll get some flower buds on that. This is a verbena. It's growing next to my Mandevilla. I got this Mandevilla for a very, very cheap price, so no real flowers on it yet. It's still small, but they grow so fast. I do have one flower on this one. Now we're starting to get, well, let me show you first a couple of my clay containers. I do have some Plumeria cuttings that are doing well in here. I'm trying to get one of my bananas that rotted inside the garage to grow back, and so far no luck, although I'm seeing some elephant ears that are popping up that I never even intended to rescue. So elephant ears are they're so funny like that. This is my kumquat tree, and this is my ponderosa lemon. I accidentally left one of those lemons on it for too long and it started to rot, but you can see how big these lemons get. It was on the plant literally for like 6 months, so I guess that's a little too long to keep a fruit on it. But anyway, lots of baby fruits on the way. I actually even see some flower buds that are about to pop, so maybe I'll get even more fruit. But you can see this one is doing good. I have at least 2. I can't find the other one right now. It's here somewhere. They sometimes blend in a little bit, but we do have some flower buds on my ponderosa lemon. Just such a large, beautiful lemon tree. And I'm just going to back up and kind of appreciate the view for a second. So yeah, it's a real treat to come out here and make this video. I'm getting really into crown of thorn plants, which you can see right next to the ponderosa lemon to the right. A little bit of flower action on this already, and it just gets better and better. I have a variegated crown of thorns with some really fun succulents, and just a really cool kind of combination that I'm doing this year with clay pots. The clay containers are awesome if you have plants that prefer to dry out and be in a lot of baking sunlight, because they're very porous. The water doesn't just flow out of them, it also kind of just evaporates from the soil. So it's not good for plants that need a lot of water, but those don't, so they are great for that. So hardier stuff in the ground and tropicals in the ground. I have my Canna, Musafolia, rubra. They survived the winter, and it was a really rough winter. I got damage to my needle palm, and I don't know why, but I didn't get any damage to my Cannas. That clump has come up beautifully. I have a palm tree seedling, I don't know where it's from, that's popping up. I have to figure out what seed sprouted. I really don't remember ever planting one. I also see some ginger popping up, so these are winter survivors. Everything here was in the ground. This is undisturbed ground from last winter, so all of that popping up overwintered beautifully. These really cool Hedychium are called vanilla ice. They have some nice variegation on them. These I planted. I also planted these Mickey Mouse elephant ears. I have to do some mulching. I'm going to put some flowers here and make it look pretty, but I didn't get a chance to do that yet. So this is going to look a lot prettier once I put some mulch down. This is Hibiscus Snow Queen. It's got red flowers when it blooms, but no red flowers yet. I'm growing it for its beautiful leaves. It is not cold tolerant, so that is in a container, which I'm going to hide with some mulch. I have an Amaryllis that I just keep in the garage over the winter. It doesn't even really bloom anymore. I don't know why, but I don't really take good care of it. But it looks pretty, and it's just like a nice little breakup point between the Canna and the elephant ears and the hosta. I just like the little texture that comes along with it. I'm going to back up a bit and show you my Musa Sikkimesis banana. It's got a second leaf coming on it already, and it's only, you know, late May, and so 2 big leaves is pretty good for a banana plant in my climate this time of the year. And I also took the plunge on my Musa AA banana. This variegated banana is a tricky one to grow, but I was like, let me just put it in the ground. It did so well inside the house. Let's give it a challenge. And I just really like the darker elephant ear leaves. We have a darker hibiscus behind it. So I think these dark textures are just going to play off so well with this coloration on the leaves. And I'm really excited to see how this does. It's got a new leaf popping up already. It seems happy. This eucalyptus that you see here it's actually not considered a eucalyptus. It's got this gorgeous lemon balm smell to it. Absolutely incredible. And it survived the winter in the garage beautifully. And again, the Rhododendron, she is the queen. She is the star of this entire thing. I do nothing to take care of it, but it is by far the thing I look forward to most every single year in this backyard. No matter where you are in the backyard, you get to enjoy it. I'm now pushing closer to my pond area, and you still see the rhododendron as clear as could be, and the tripod that I've been using to film all the videos that I've been doing on my Instagram. So make sure you follow me there, by the way. This is my Gaussia Priceps palm, kind of an unusual palm tree to see up here, but it does pretty well. It's all right. It's like a big majesty palm as far as the look, and one of the babies, it's a 3-cluster palm tree. So this was at one point 3 palm tree seedlings that were all planted together to make a fuller looking plant. And one of them's kind of struggling with these like really tiny looking palm fronds, but the other ones are growing normal fronds. So overall it seems to be happy. I have a crinum lily. I have some really cool geraniums. This is called hummingbird lunch. I know it doesn't look like much, but let me tell you, I woke up one morning and I looked out my bedroom window and I saw a hummingbird, like the second day I planted that. So if you want hummingbirds, get that plant. They love it so much. It is unbelievable. Next to me is the palm tree that I protected the least, and the only windmill palm to actually survive this winter. I don't know what happened to my other two, but yeah, it's doing good. The one at my parents' house, the really big ones, those are fine. If you like are watching those videos and you see the big palm trees that I planted for my parents when I was in high school, no problems with those at all. But for some reason in my backyard, everything just did horrible. It wasn't even any colder here. I have weather stations at both locations, and it was actually warmer here during the coldest nights. But anyway, this one does have damage, but not too much, and it's growing out of it. So I think it's growing out of it. It looks like this new spear is a little funky, but at least it's growing. So that's nice. I got this new Clematis. This is beautiful. This one is Josephine, I believe it's called. Yep, Josephine. Just looked at the plant tag. And really, really just enjoying all of the spring blooms, even the ones that aren't tropical. Sometimes they can just still give you a tropical feeling. My Mendinilla that I talked about with the flowers that last for months, well, here we are a couple of weeks later, and looks better than ever. I have lots of little sprouts, little buds opening up still. We have the fish enjoying their breakfast. I have my philodendron at the corner over here, already growing a new leaf. Everything is really, really doing quite well. I love this variegated cordyline. I actually thought it was dead because during the winter, the whole entire thing collapsed in the snow. I left it out in some pretty serious cold, and I wasn't sure if this variety could survive it. You could see that some of the leaves are broken off from that, but look at how much growth it's had since the winter time. It spent the whole winter either outside or in my garage, but against all odds, it has done tremendously well, and I just love the way it looks with the bolder foliage from the crinum lily. It's just a great look. I'm really, really happy with how this corner's already starting to shape up, but there is a lot of work that's yet to be done. We have a lot of things that still need to grow in. I still haven't finished planting yet, but I have my Alfina ginger. That is going to start producing some really nice new growth. You can see down here we have some new growth. I have some elephant ears that are still waiting to come up, and some that are just really small. So all of this is going to fill in beautifully. It is a slow burn this time of the year. My Fatsia Japonica survived the winter beautifully. It's producing seeds, which it's never done before, so I don't know what pollinated it, but it's doing really, really well. It's getting tall. It's almost as tall as me. Still a few flowers left on my Klondike azalea. I'm really enjoying this. The smell on this is amazing. Ah, love that smell. It smells so good. So yeah, that's basically the gist of what I'm growing. I do have some more unusual plants that I guess I'll show you, just so that way we can all laugh about it when it's August and they're hopefully really nice and big, because right now they're actually pretty tiny. So let me turn the camera around. I'm going to show you my Musa Velutina banana, which is a dwarf pink banana. And it is beautiful when it's a little larger and when it's in bloom. I have gotten this to bloom for me years ago when I was much younger. I grew this banana species and it did very, very well. So we'll see if I can have just as much luck with it in my garden now as an adult. I have a sprinkler set up because I'm going to not be able to water these for a few days. So these sprinklers will hopefully take care of all of the veggies that I still have to plant. We're doing lots of tomatoes. These looked horrible a few weeks ago because I kept them in too tiny of a container. So I had to repot everything, and they're actually growing really well right now. So I'm happy about that. This is my Brugmansia. This one is called, here's my problem. I don't know if other gardeners face this, but I forget what I buy sometimes. I really can't remember. I was very excited about this Brugmansia, I swear, when I bought it, and now I'm looking for the tag. Does anybody else have this? I have the tag for the petunias, which I already knew the name of. Bermuda Beach, if you're wondering, because I love Bermuda, and I guess I like pink. I don't know what it has to do with Bermuda other than the pink color. I guess that's why they call it that. But yeah, guess we'll just never know. Well, I would know. I just have to look at my book, my little bookkeeping that I do. I don't know what this Brugmansia is. I think it's pink with double flowers. I'm keeping it in a container because I just don't have room in the ground, and it's supposed, I remember now, it's supposed to be a short-growing Brugmansia variety, like it doesn't get as big, so it should be a good container one, and this one is pink, and the other one is a yellow one, and they're both from Logis online, which is based out of Connecticut. I might have the plant tag for this one. I'm gonna be so mad if I confuse them. Yep, Angel Summer Dream, that's the yellow one. All right. At least I didn't forget. I just had a hard time remembering. Hibiscus Tryst. You can see right here, Midnight Tryst. Or Tryst? I don't know. But it has a really, really cool flower. So we're going to wait for that to pop up. Clearly I am delirious. I've been doing a lot of videos lately, and you know what's funny? So since I keep on showing this table, I need to explain that this side table is on top of my patio table. Listen, hear me out. Because I'm doing my work outside, and not only am I standing, I take my little treadmill pad and I wheel it outside so that way I can walk on the treadmill, and then I have my laptop on here like this, and I'm doing my walking. I did like 3 miles yesterday, and it's all for this view. So, is anybody else like that? Let me know in the comments. Like, do you deliberately, firstly, are you unable to sit still? Because I can't have a desk job. Even when I have to do desk job stuff, I just take my little treadmill pad and I just walk. And I also need to have some beautiful, beautiful plants in my life. I can't just, you know, sit in a dark room all day when I have my rhododendron in bloom. Like, I'm sorry, that is inexcusable. I cannot waste this moment. This is the best time of the year. The weather is perfect. The rhododendron is perfect. My flamethrower tree is producing beautiful new fronds. My Bismarkia palm's gonna die soon, so I gotta enjoy that while it still looks alive. We can't take advantage of this special time enough. I feel like it's so fleeting. All right. That's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for following along. Please subscribe, and if you enjoy these videos, just leave a comment letting me know what plants you want to know more about, because honestly, this is like my diary. That's why it's so chaotic. Like, this is not my personality at all on television. I'm much more organized in my thoughts, but I like just throwing it all out there to the camera, and I think for me, it's just really cool, because maybe I'll look back at these videos and be like, oh, wow, it was really nice to see where things were earlier in the year. And hopefully for you, it's just giving you some ideas about what I'm able to grow here on Long Island, and maybe give you some inspiration about different plants that you didn't think of trying.